For a long time, it seemed like some people were in denial about what was going on in Hollywood, in the modern day entertainment industry, but now that's no longer the case. Now it's pretty clear for everyone to see, especially with all the failures of streaming, disappointments at the box office, massive failures for so many of these big studios. It's clear for everyone to see that so many people in Hollywood are creatively bankrupt, and what they decide to do is to take franchises, take IPs, take characters that people love, and inject identity politics into it. So far, that is proven to be disastrous for Hollywood. And one of the ways that they try to do that is by simply taking something that was a male-dominated property and making all those characters into women. We saw it with something like Ocean's 8. We saw it in the disaster that was known as Ghostbusters 2016. And now there's even people that want the same thing to happen to the James Bond franchise, with so many activists out there saying it's time that James Bond was a woman. Well, there's one person in Hollywood, one woman in Hollywood who's not okay with that, and in fact is pushing back against this nonsense, and that is actually Gal Gadot. Heart of Stone star Gal Gadot rallies against Hollywood's obsession for gender-swapping male characters. Now, Heart of Stone is a new movie that's coming out on Netflix starring Gal Gadot as a spy, and so obviously a lot of people started asking her questions about, oh, do you think there should be a female James Bond and like all this nonsense? And she immediately shut that shit down. Obviously, this is a person who's been in big franchises before, like Fast and Furious. This is a person who starred as Wonder Woman for DC. Some of those movies were certainly better than others, for sure. But she's saying, no, we shouldn't be gender swapping all these roles. What's the obsession with that? Why can't we just do original female characters or use the characters that already exist? What is the obsession with gender swapping? Take a look at some of these quotes. Gal Gadot's already played some tough female characters on screen, and in Heart of Stone, she's adding another action heroine to her roster of impressive roles. Her role of intelligence operative Rachel Stone is one that's already being compared to being the female James Bond, but while there may be similarities, Gadot's not on board with the Hollywood trend of taking a role and gender swapping it. For that reason, she wanted to make sure Rachel Stone was a character built in her own DNA. And I got to give a shout out to my man Christian Toto at Hollywood in Toto. He talked about this. He covered this as well. Now, his article talked a lot about the recent statements by Kathleen Kennedy and I guess it's possible that we could have Phoebe Waller-Bridge continue on some sort of adventure in the Indiana Jones franchise. I think that there's really not much hope that that happens. A lot of people took it more seriously. But to be sure, Gal Gadot would be pushing back against something like that as well with the statements that she put out here. Look at this quote. I wanted to show a great story about a female character who's doing it in the action genre, right? She's thriving. But at the same time, how many times have they just switched gender? They take a story that's all about the men and they just change it to a woman, then go shoot it. To me, it was important in the DNA to make Heart of Stone different because men and women are different. They're built differently. They operate differently. Holy shit, Gal Gadot, I don't know if you actually realize what you just said. There's going to be a lot of people screeching about those comments. How dare you say men and women are different, that they're built different, that they operate different. Haven't you heard it's Pride Month? You're not allowed to say something like that. But no, in reality, you gotta love hearing this. Just blatant, blunt honesty from Gal Gadot. And that is the truth. Men and women are different. They are built different. They operate differently. They think differently. And the desire to take all of these male-dominated properties and just switch gender and assume that something like that will be successful, that is a massive, massive misstep. A lot of these companies tried it and failed. A lot of these studios are continuing to try it and will continue to fail. But you gotta love that pushback from Gal Gadot. Yes, of course, there's nothing creative about that. There's not a lot of people out there that are desiring something like that. Simply taking a male story and gender swapping it into a woman and expecting that to be a success. And she would go on to kind of describe how, of course, they're inspired by different spy movies of the past, some of them men, some of them women, but they didn't want to make this into some gender swap role. And to go back to Christian Toto's article, I wanted to point out what he said at the end. She's right, but it's a lesson Hollywood keeps ignoring. Too many female action heroines act as if they're men, strong, brave, and resolute, but without any of the intrinsic qualities that make women women. We're even told the next James Bond must be a woman to strike a blow against patriarchy or something like that. You gotta love hearing this from Gal Gadot, that she has no desire and no need to play some gender swap character, and she thinks it's dumb for Hollywood to continue doing things just like that have proven time and time again that's not what people want. It's not creative, it's not desired, and it will continue to fail over and over again. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.